guess, available.
Okay. Anything you have in temp that you want to monitor?
Do I have any data on temp?
What about Varlog? Are you monitoring Varlog?
I believe so.
How do you check if you're monitoring something?
On the front end here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Indexes.
Oh, go to the right data inputs. Can you see at the top here?
Yeah, there's a lot of log.
So it doesn't look like you have anything really being monitored. There's lib. You're monitoring /lib. See that at the bottom?
Yeah.
And you're setting that to default. And this Splunk is connected to my Splunk, correct?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know.
How do you think?
What was that?
How do you check it? Anyone want to help her out? So she wants to check if this Splunk instance that she has is connected to Cloud Open Path. How would you check?
Would it be in the config file?
Okay, that's one, but we're dealing with just front end right now. So how would you check on it?
Okay. Forwarding and receiving.
Mm-hmm. So that's one way.
Okay.
Yep, put that.
Okay.
All right. So looks like it's not forwarding anywhere.
Okay.
So the other way is go to Cloud Open Path, that tab you have open right there where you see add data. It's in the middle of your screen at the top.
Yeah.
So then go to settings. Then see forwarder management. Or distributed environment. And then you see on the clients, right? So this would tell you if your deployment server or my guys function as a deployment server. So this is one way to check if your guys like getting instructions from me. But let's say you're not necessarily setting it up to get instructions. So you want to set it up so that your guy's sending me data. So what you'll do then is, remember how we ran index equals underscore internal?
Right.
Right. So that's how you check to see if it's sending internal logs. That's another way to check. Right now, it probably isn't.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see any forwarding on your guy, but we can check. But I'm almost positive that it's not because we don't have any forwarding set up.
So where is the deployment? Where are you the deployment server?
What's the question?
So how do we verify that that we can see your server? It has to show open path.
Right. So the screen we're on right now is forwarder management. So this right now basically says if you're working at a job and they say, hey, we have 10,000 servers out there. We need you to have those guys to deploy, well, not to deploy. We need you to collect logs from those 10,000 servers. Are you going to manually go into each of those 10,000 servers to get the logs?
No.
Right. So you'll use a deployment server. So what you'll need to do then is say, For every one of those 10,000 servers, we need you to connect to my deployment server so that you can collect information collect instructions that tell you what data to collect. So once it connects, this is the screen that it shows that those guys are connected. So this is the screen that you see. It says, hey,
So
now
you don't see anything here. It therefore means that you're not connected.
correct. Those guys aren't connected to be clients. Well, that's connected to be clients. So right now we're just worried about clients. So this is in a sense of you don't want to go to 10,000 servers to go do your, configurations. You don't want to SSH into those hosts or RDP or whatever it is into those hosts to collect configurations. So what you want to do then is, configure configurations. But what you want to do is get those guys to report to this guy. And then what we do after that is we create our apps. And then from our apps, basically, we can then push our apps to each of those hosts. And as long as those hosts are there, then they basically will start reporting the data that we asked it to collect from those hosts. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So that's if you want those guys to be managed by this guy. But let's say you say we just want the logs. We don't care if you're managed by, by our team per se. We just want to get your logs. So if that's the case, you want to check index equals underscore internal. That's going to show you if it's sending data in general. And then underscore internal also tells you whether it's connecting as well to the deployment server. So anything that it relates to communication between Splunk components, index equals underscore internal is going to tell you all of that stuff. That's the best log or index rather to look for that data. So right now, Liz, we're on your screen. We're going to first set up forwarding. Actually, before we do that, go to search tab, go run a search, Liz. Then run index equals, what's the index we're going to look for? There we go, yeah. All right, so what are we going to look for?
Log.
What do we mean logs? What are we looking for exactly?
Logs that have been pushed from the client, from hosts that are connected to this deployment server.
Which host are we looking for?
Client host.
Which
you
one?
mean like? Well, I don't know.
What are we trying to do right now, guys? Liz, what are we trying to do?
To see if our data is being reported.
When you say our data, what do you mean?
The data from my local machine.
Okay. So what would we look for then?
So the source type.
Well, before we include source type, what are we looking for? We're looking for, you said something from your local machine, right?
Yeah, the host.
Okay, so what would we?
ID.
So what would that be?
So I guess I should let go of source type and go to host.
You can do source type if you know what the source type is. Do you know what the source type is that we're looking for?
No.
Okay, then we would include it. Only include stuff you're sure of.
Okay.
All right. So the one thing you know for sure is your host, right?
Yes.
What's your host?
Host is.
Yeah, click the little box next to it. So I made mine a little, see the little thing there at the top left? It gives me a logo. So mine has that little open path. It's small, but it's
Oh,
got the logo there. It's called I think a favicon or favicon, whatever. So it's like my open path thing. Where you see search,
yeah. Okay.
the next is my little favicon.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if it picks up the public or the private IP. But
Which topic?
Well, since we're not in the same network, what would it be?
yeah, the public.
Correct. Yep. So Liz's question is, would it pick up public or private? Well, right now she's outside of. So think about it. She's outside of my house. She's in Maryland. If she wants to communicate with me, I'm not gonna recognize her as like somebody that lives within my house. I'm gonna recognize her as somebody that's a stranger that's outside. So when you're outside of somebody's network, you're gonna have a public IP. When you're inside, you're gonna have an internal IP. You can also use public for internal communication, but why would you do that? You don't want to go use something that's outside communication channels when you use inside. But okay, we did your search. We don't see your host in here, right?
So could we have used client IP right there? Same as client IP equals.
No, not this time. So client IP is usually for something else. But for authentication, I think would show for that. But right now, you're not authenticating from that client. So that's like if if you're logging in from your local server, your local server is actually not 54. That's a AWS instance, right? So
Right.
right now you're trying to send your AWS logs to, my indexers. So you would basically use the host equals whenever you do client IP, as if like you literally logged into that guy and then log in from that guy to get to Prod OpenPath. That's how that would work. It would literally have to serve as your local host for that to work that way.
Okay.
All right. So what's another search that we can run that we always run to see all the list of hosts we have inside of Splunk? Anyone?
Metadata.
Metadata.
Yep. Somebody tell her the syntax if you don't know, Liz, or if you remember, that's great.
Well, should I get rid of this host since it's specific?
Yeah, metadata. Yeah, if you erase all of that, pipe metadata. Well, no, the index too.
Okay.
Pipe metadata. Yeah, space. Type host. Type equals host.
Host. So
Yep. And space index equals star.
index equals what? I'm sorry.
Star.
Star. Okay. Run it.
Yep.
So the only thing with this one that's a little tricky, Rufus, is that what index is she looking at? What indexes is she looking at?
All right. Her whatever your index is.
Well, I mean, like,
Or underscore internal.
yeah, there we go. Yep.
Yep.
You can do underscore star if you want as well. It'll search everything internal. So you have audit, you have introspection, you have a whole bunch. So then you see where it says 20 per page to the left over there?
Yeah.
Yep. Click that, make it 50. And then what you'll do is scroll down now. And do you see your host anywhere in here?
My host? No.
Okay. So that means your host is not reporting internally to us. So this is one of the first places I would check. Even if you're sending logs to external indexes, your host still has to register internally because it has to make that connection.
Okay.
So, all right, let's go configure forwarding on your AWS instance. I think it's the one settings, or you can use that one. There's one right there, all the way to your right. You see settings. Nope, keep going all the way to your right. You see settings at the top. What's that? All right, so yeah, let's configure this guy to forward.
Okay.
No.
Oh.
Go back. You were right there. Hit the back button. This is the same screen, but I just want to show you you were right there. Just hit the back button.
Liz?
Yeah.
Please, I don't know, your Zoom, can you make it in such a way that where they are showing it, those are in class, can you minimize it so we can see your whole screen?
Okay.
Yeah, like I see Clovis, I see Claudia, I see Sally, all those, just minimize it, yeah, so that you see all your screen, please.
Are you saying the
That's on yours, I
the
believe.
participant? Yeah, you just have to minimize that screen.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. Okay, I'm sorry, Sarah. What were you saying?
Go to you see where it says new forwarding host?
Yes.
All right, so this is where you're gonna put my IP for the Prod OpenPath.
Okay. And
You know how to check for my IP?
no.
All right, so pull up any terminal that you have open right now, or you can do command line, it doesn't matter. Matter of fact, it might be easier if I show you guys. So I'll show you guys both ways. So do CMD. Let it open. No, CMD, C. All right, so do NS lookup. And then space. And then it's going to be the domain name. So it's prod -openpath us.com. And that. And you see it gives you my IP, right? 125.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So another way you can do this is go on the web right there.
Mm-hmm.
Type in who is. That's fine. Run that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, just run that. Run that.
Who is?
Yeah, just run that. Yep.
Okay.
All right. So you see where it says scroll down. Who is domain tools, whatever IP. Yeah. So you can click that who is lookup domain availability IP search. The second one. No. Go down. You can even use ICANN. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. All right. So then just type in prod-openpath. No, dash needs to be my host name. have to like click through whatever. I guess it's not making it. And so scroll down. And see where it says the IP address right there, 125.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there's different ways to skin a cat when it comes to this, but these are just two ways you can always look at somebody's IP.
Okay. 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 So I go now to.
Oh, what else does it ask you for? Let's read. What does it ask you for?
I believe port.
What port are you going to send it to?
8889. Is it 8889?
What's 8089 used for?
That's the listener.
I think you need a forwarding port.
Say,
Forwarding port.
no, so 8089 is management port. That's for management services. That's for like when we're doing the folder management. But for receiving is 9997.
997, right?
Yep.
Okay. 999
7.
10
7.
7. Okay.
Okay. All right. Forwarding is set and it's enabled. Since you're using AWS, can you go to instances?
Yep.
Then click actions.
Actions.
And then do do networking. Change security groups. All right, so using Splunk security. All right, cool. That's fine. Cancel. And then scroll at the bottom there. And then you see where it says Splunk security next to security groups? Click that. View inbound rules. Right, so you have 8,000 to 9. Okay, cool. All right, and then click outbound rules. I think Debo set it up so that you can basically get anything.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you're set to get anything pretty much from all the default Splunk ports at least. All right, cool. All right, so you should be forwarding to me then, if that's the case. So let's go now to settings on not settings. I'm sorry. Let's go back to Prod OpenPath and rerun this search. Hopefully we see 25 now. There we go. Look for the guy. So you're one of these people. I don't know who you are. So it's probably reporting your internal. So let's go. It's probably one of those IP internals right there. That's probably just your host name on the server when you created it. So what we'll do then is, yeah, go there.
119. I believe it's that 119.
119.
Let me see.
31, 39, 205. Looks like that's the one. Do we see 205 on the thingy over there? All right, so let's do this. Go to your settings on your host. Then go to help, about at the bottom. Yep. So you're 119, 31. What's the server IP?
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
That's what you are. So quick thing, go to settings now. Since we can do it on the back end, but I'm going to try to do everything front end so that you guys see how we can change this front end. Yep. Settings. Yep. Go to server settings.
Server settings.
Go to general settings. Go to Splunk server name. You're going to change that. Call it Liz's AWS instance or whatever. So that it just makes sense. All right. And then you see where it says enable SSL. Just do me a favor and just enable that. There you go. Save that. And then change your default host name to the same thing as you have up there. You just copy that at the top there. Then once you save this, it's going to force you to restart. It's going to ask you that, or basically tell you that you need to do a restart. All right, and then you see the thing at the top there where you have 3 messages now?
Yeah.
All right, so let's do that. Okay, let's restart. All right, good job, Liz. Okay, all right, so the next thing you should do is, we're not gonna do it together. Watch the video if you need to watch it or work with someone else, but set up this guy to be managed by Prod OpenPath, which is basically just copying over that deployment client.
Mm-hmm.
So set up this guy to be managed by Prod OpenPath when you get a chance. All right, so yours should report shortly as, you know, whatever you call it now. So whenever the restart finishes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so let me see. Mercy, Patrick, Richard, Tolu. All right, Tolu, is your screen up? Is your Splunk up?
It is.
Okay, all right, Tolu, let's just have you share your screen. All right, thank you very much, Liz.
Sure.
So let me Tolu present you. So you are now able to present. All right, cool. And were you able to forward your data to us, Tolu, or collect logs?
I believe so, but I don't think I did it the right way.
Okay, let's check. Let's see if we have data.
Okay.
What index? Okay, oh, so this is internal. Okay. All right, so let's look at your, what index did you send it to?
See, that's the thing. I think initially I used the universal forwarder.
Okay.
And then this is what I did. And then I got stuff in here, but I didn't put it under a specific index. So I'm not even sure if this is the right way to do it.
It's probably going to main then. Do you know what you sent?
No.
All right, so do index equals main. Well, before we do that, actually, do you know how to search for the host in main? We just did the search sort of earlier.
Search for the host.
Reporting to main. Nope, not that way. Rufus mentioned it earlier.
I might have missed that. I joined the meeting late. Sorry.
Pipe metadata. Liz, do you remember the command you ran?
Type equal hosts.
Okay, yep. Who said that? I don't know who that was.
Ernest.
Okay, good job, Ernest. All right, so Ernest, tell him what to do.
Type equal host.
Index equals underscore star.
Well,
Exactly.
he's looking for a different index. So you put the index you're looking for in this case.
Mhm.
Okay, if he knows the index, you just put it in there.
Yep. So you said you don't know what index though, right?
Just do asterisk.
You can do so if it's default, it's gonna go to main. If you don't specify index, it's gonna go to main. So if you
Okay.
never specify index for whatever inputs, it's gonna always go to main. So you can just do main here first. We'll check main.
Okay.
And then what are we looking for?
The host, right?
But how would we do that? I think Ernest had said it.
Height equals
Type
to
equal hosts.
With the S.
Put an S.
Any of these guys your guys?
I don't believe so. Um,
Okay. So run this search for like 30 days. Let's see if you have something in the past, maybe. Because metadata is time constrained. Let's see for everything. So that 14.
so will I have had to name? How would I have to pick the host name?
It's going to default to this is your local host, right?
Right.
Yeah, so it's going to default to whatever your name of your computer is. So let's go to, so this is from the universal forwarder or from the full instance of Splunk?
I believe this is from the forwarder. Yeah, this is from the forwarder. I tried earlier through Splunk and I don't think it worked.
Okay. So do you have Splunk installed on this guy, like a full instance?
Yeah.
Okay. Go to the front end then. Do a local host. Is it running?
I don't know why it's taking this long. Okay.
You try to type it. You got to press one of the things to the left. Yeah, and then type now, SP. It looks like it's not started yet. It says automatic next to it. You got to have the running.
Okay. So is that something I could do now, or I would have to do this on my own time?
No, you can start it. It looks like it's installed already. Just start it.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, it's weird. You didn't delete it by any chance, did you?
It's still here.
You're like a Macintosh laptop or something, bro. Got hard click.
Yeah, this is because I normally use my work laptop for everything, but I was having trouble downloading Splunk on it. So
Yeah, looks like you're out of space too, by the way, almost. Yeah, looks like Splunk is here.
Yeah, so
So is the
Yeah.
forwarder running?
um
Because if the forwarder running, that may be a reason why it can't start because that port.
well the forwarder's not running either. We're into the same thing.
Okay.
Everything is just gray.
It's weird. I wonder if you don't have enough resources. It still should allow you to try to start it and it just dies out or something. All right. So delete the forwarder and make sure you uninstall it too. So, guys, this question came up earlier. What's the difference between a forwarder and when you see Splunk? So whenever you see a Splunk Universal Forwarder there, that's literally a Universal Forwarder. That's Splunk's agent that's typically deployed to endpoints. So if somebody says, I have 10,000 computers out there I need to collect data from, you're going to deploy a forwarder on those 10,000 computers, and then you're going to collect the logs that way. You wouldn't deploy a full instance of Splunk to those computers. You only deploy just a small footprint. The only reason that I'm having you guys install a full instance of Splunk, where you see this folder name is Splunk, is because I want you guys to it's a front end class. I want you, if we did a forwarder, you guys would have to go on the back end and stuff like that, and that's not the scope of this course. So make sure you go to uninstall as well for this tool. And how much disk space do you have? It looked like it was like really red, and I wasn't sure how much.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Let me see.
Oh, you deleted Splunk too?
I wasn't supposed to.
No. I was just gonna say we're trying to start Splunk, but it's okay.
Debbie,
Ooh.
Debbie,
Yes.
I have a question, please.
Sure.
So if you don't want to install forwarders in your client machines, can you just configure deployment client?
So the forwarder is the client. So you have to have a Splunk component installed. So the forwarder can be the client, it could be a full instance, but 99% of the time it's going to be a UF that's going to be installed there. So the client that you see on that forwarder management is basically a forwarder talking to that server. Totally, you may not be able to do much with this 4.91 gigs. Splunk usually requires, once it gets less than 5 gigs, it starts complaining. And that might be an installation issue too, as it tries to unpackage some of its. So you may have to clean up some space on here. I know you got quite a bit on here.
I'm just gonna stop sharing.
Okay. Yeah. So when you finish that, we can work on it at the end of class.
Okay.
So let me have Elvis. Is yours up and ready to go?
I'm kind of in the same situation, but I think the forwarder is configured correctly.
Okay.
I know the host name, so I just want to pick up from there if you can help out.
Sure. All right. Share your screen when you're ready. Let's make you a host. Okay. When you're ready, you can share. All right. So this is OpenPath. We want it to be from your local. So your local looks like that 7.1.6 right there, home at the top, because I know mine is 8.1.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, all right. So this is an AWS instance, I'm assuming?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right, so let's go to settings at the top there. And then Liz, where would he go next?
Oh yeah, settings, add data, monitor.
Well, we want to make sure he's sending data. Where would he go if he wants? We want to make sure.
Oh, okay. Go to settings, forwarding and receiving. No, under data. yeah, forwarding. I'm sorry, configure forwarding.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't have.
I don't have.
Yep. So you're currently not forwarding. What would you do to make sure you're forwarding then?
I guess new forwarding host.
Mhm.
And then you would type the OpenPath IP, which you can.
You know how to get that, Elvis?
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, hold on. Elvis, what instance is that you just did that on?
This is my forwarder from the backend class.
Okay, so which instance are we on right now on the front end, that 18? What's the name of this guy that we're on?
This
Yeah.
This is the backend class too.
This is the same one that's FW1?
That's a good question. No, this is the search head.
Okay, go to help and do about quickly.
About.
All right, so the name of this, okay, all right, so this is different. Okay, cool. All right, that's fine. That's good. So you can save that, that's fine. All right, okay, so you are now forwarding. Can you change the name of this guy to be like, you know, your search head or whatever you want to call it? Just so, so do you know how to change the name? All right, Liz, how does he change the name?
I think it's under go to settings. We're gonna have to.
Anyone can help out too.
Server settings.
Server settings.
Server settings.
Server settings.
Yeah, server settings. Yes.
General settings.
Yep.
Splunk server name. Yep, right there.
So changes to something that makes more sense. Okay, or whatever.
Someone help me out.
No, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever folder.
Just call it Elvis.
Yeah.
Do you have to enable the HTTPS?
Yeah, it looks like he already has it. You don't have to, but I just 99% of the jobs that you're going to be on, it's going to be enabled. So. All right. So what do you have to do next? What's that on your messages at the top there? There we go. Always pay attention to your messages when you get in your Splunk jobs. Typically, it's only 2 that you get, which is just telling you there's an upgrade available, and you know, I forget what the other one is, but it's just going to give you those 2 options. But anything outside of that, always check it. You know, especially if you see like 10 or 15, that means there's errors.
I think that indexing has stopped.
I'm sorry, say again.
No, I said sometimes you could say that indexing has stopped.
Right. Yep. All right, so while this is restarting, Elvis, let's go look at some of the data that you already sent to Splunk. You sent stuff, right? Because you have FW1.
Yes,
Okay. All right. So are you sending it to the correct index?
I'm sending it to main.
Okay.
This is my this is the folder.
Okay. Can you change it on your back end to send to your index? It's going to be Elvis _ index, I believe is what I called it for you.
Okay. So I'm going to.
Do you remember where you configured it at? It's checking apps first. Unless you did in system local.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. I think.
Oh, so you were the guy that's sending it to test. You've been caught red-handed. All right, so send this to change test, so VI into your file. Press escape. Press colon. All right, do %S / do test / Elvis _ index / G. Enter. All right, there we go. So change all your indexes. So now let's restart Splunk so that it knows this changes have been made. Oh no, bin.
Bin. Splunk restart.
All right. Okay. So it looks like your other guy might be up. Go to settings on your front end. Over there, the settings tab. There you go. Oh, it's still restarting. Okay. This should automatically reload after it's done. You can try to see it though. It may be done. You can do a click here to continue. Okay, cool. Looks like it is done. Okay. All right, so let's go into search on OpenPath. In OpenPath. Yep.
Oh, this thing.
All right, so let's look for how do we search if your host is sending logs to us at all? Again, what index would we want to check? Anyone can help.
_.
I just flipped the _ star.
_.
All right, so let's run that. All right, so let's see if Elvis's search head is reporting. Is that what you called it?
Yes.
All right, cool. So your forwarder is reporting. Good job. All right, Elvis. So your forwarder is reporting, or your, I guess, search head / forwarder is reporting. So we're good there. So now what you want to configure, and I'll show you how to do this. You'll be the first one to do this. So Elvis, go to settings. Go to data inputs. And this is for anyone who wants to do this. So once your guys are configured out to be clients of mine, you're going to go down to the bottom where it says forwarded inputs. And then yours is a Windows server, not Windows, I'm sorry, a Linux server. So you're going to scroll down, you're going to select files and directories. So then do new remote. Right. Yep. And then you select your guy. Actually, I just realized, did we ever? We didn't configure your guy to do to be a client yet, did we? Just thought about it. I think we just configured your guy to send internal to forward its logs. So what you need to do then is go. Do I want to do this with you or? All right. So obviously, you look like you won't be the guy to do this with me then. But basically, configure your guy to be a deployment client. You got to go back and watch the video. Do the same thing with Liz. All you're doing is installing the deployment client.conf in system local. Then you put those two stanzas that are supposed to be there. And that's going to be in the WhatsApp chat. You can look for that.
Okay.
But once that's done, you should be good. So for the folks that have, let me see. All right. So I'm going to have Elaine, is your instance, is it a deployment client to my server already?
Yeah, mine was a deployment client to yours. We did it last time you went through.
Okay.
I was trying to send the logs like you said, but it didn't go through.
Okay, let's look at that.
I mistakenly deleted my universal forwarder just not long from now to reinstall it again. Because I did that with Windows for my home PC, and I went to input.conf and then I had some logs which I downloaded on my computer and specified the path and specified the index, my index of which you created, and then restarted that. I didn't see the logs coming when I searched for it. So
the component is installed right now, right?
I just have to redo it again. I have to reinstall back my universal forwarder, yeah.
So when you reinstall, I don't want you to install a universal forwarder. I want you to install a full package of Splunk instead, okay? Install Splunk Enterprise.
Okay, so I'm gonna create a new instance and like do a full package.
Yeah, do the full package, yep.
All right. I'll try to create a new instance and then I'll run it.
Okay.
Send it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, Timmy, yours is connected, right, Timmy? Timmy, there?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Oh, okay.
I shouldn't use I shouldn't use my home PC, right? I shouldn't use.
No, you can use your home PC. You can use whatever computer you want to use or instance you want to use. It's just that I want you to do the full instance of Splunk. Don't do Universal Forwarder. Just do the full instance, Splunk Enterprise.
You have running on my VM. Let me see it again.
You can run it anywhere. It doesn't matter where you run it to me.
I have copy running on my VM. I'll do it and then try to log into my VM again. So.
Okay, that works. All right, Patrick, is yours a client of mine?
I think my host is up there, but you need to see my stuff.
Yeah, let's have you share that, Patrick. And then we'll work through yours. Okay.
I got mine here. You see it?
Yes. So go to forwarder management. Let's make sure your guys actually. So yours is reporting, but we want to make sure it's reporting as a deployment client. So how do we check that?
Management.
Yeah, there we go. Is it here?
I think I see it. It's a personal PC.
Is that it? Personal PC?
My IP, I think, is a 60 something.
So it looks like a few seconds ago you got reported though. So
yeah, I think my IP is a 68 something. I don't think.
Okay, but is yours name personal PC? Is that the name of your computer?
No, it's not mine. It's Patrick something.
Patrick something. Okay, all right. So go to the second page there.
Which one? This one?
No. See where it says. So There's 11 clients. There's one more that I don't know if that's yours or not. Right now we're only looking at 10. Yeah. So
No, isn't mine. That's not my IP address.
okay. So do host name on your computer. Let's see what's the name of your computer. It looks like it's Patrick Dash MacBook anyway. I see right there.
It's right there.
Host name. But I'm pretty sure it's Patrick Dash MacBook. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's your host name. All right. So and your Splunk instance is installed locally or is it installed on a different server?
It should be locally. I think the other day we tried to search for it.
Okay. And did we just see it reporting on when we did the search and internal? When we initially started, you said, I think I saw it reporting. Is that what you said? Or
No, I saw my host was listed there. I mean, instances were up there, but.
All right, so click the back button a couple of times. Let's go see. All right, so is your host up here?
Yeah, it's right here. MacBook Pro logo.
All right. So let's convert this time to something that's human readable. So do pipe at the end of this. No, go forward, yep. Do pipe. So convert command allows you to convert it to human readable time. So convert space C time. Yep. And then inside the parentheses is going to be the field that you want to convert. So we're going to convert, let's do last time. So no. Go back. So it's going to be open space parentheses. So it's a function. And then it should highlight, no, open space parentheses.
Open space parentheses. Should I type that out? Or you say it's a function? I'm trying.
No, just do open space parentheses. Shift 9.
Say shift 9. Oh.
All right, and then type in the field that we want in here.
That's
No, the field. That's a value. The field.
That's the time now. This time.
No. So which field are we looking for? We want to see the last time this got reported. So what field do you think this would be? What are the fields on the screen?
The fields on the screen are read last time was this.
No, fields. What fields do we see on the screen? Which one are the fields?
My MacBook, the name
no,
of
it's a value. So your MacBook is a value. What's the field on here? So the fields are always the top right here. So if you scroll to the top of the, so like, in Excel, right? The name of like whatever that is, the column, that's a field. So those are the fields up there. If you go all the way across this row, those are all field names.
Okay, so first time, last time.
Yep.
Recent. So we're doing recent time.
Okay, so let's do recent time then. So field names, yep, case sensitive. And then we want to close it. Yep, there we go. And just run that. And then you'll see how it changes that. So now you see recent time, we can see the recent time stuff is reported. So yours, what's today's date? Today's the 4th, right?
No, today's the 3rd.
3rd, okay, so yours is sort of reading futuristic. All right, so do Patrick Sock right there at the top. Under your name, under your name. That little drop down. Nope. That drop down, the drop down under your name at the top.
Oh, right here.
Yep, select preferences. See, your default time zone basically reads the time zone from my computer, and my AWS instance may be like ahead. So let's move this to like our standard time zone for you. So do EST, wherever you're at. It's do EAST, Eastern.
EEST.
No, EAST, like your, yeah, small Eastern. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right, cool. Save that. Apply it. No, you can just, yeah, apply it. All right, and then go to say, grab the search, copy the search that you have in here. All right, refresh this. Sometimes it doesn't take effect right away, but let's see if it does. Try to rerun your search and let's see if that changes things. It doesn't look like it did on that one. Okay, so let's do this. Log out, log back in.
Okay.
Oh, click out so no one sees. Okay, cool. All right, your stuff. All right, search. Looks like yours is not showing up either. I need to fix that. I don't know why. Some folks stuff are not showing. Let me know if your data is not showing up, your balance stuff. Let's redo that for some people.
Yeah, mine's not showing. It's Clovis.
Okay, yeah, I'll fix that for you guys. I had to resubmit the data again. I think oh yeah, you changed. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Yep, convert it.
We convert it.
Nope, you got to convert it.
Oh.
So by default, whenever you run like a lot of Splunk internal commands, it's going to give you a time of well, what's the command that we have to run here?
C time.
Well, that's the function. What's the command? Anybody remember?
Convert.
Yep.
Open parenthesis. Convert.
Well, no. So whenever you run Splunk commands, what do you need to have in front of it?
Pipe.
Yep.
Oh.
There we go. So that's the command. Now you want to run a function of that command. Yep. All right. Open, close.
Forgot what was supposed to be in there.
What field do we want?
Recent time.
Recent.
Recent time. Oh, so I got today at 22:06. That's right now.
Okay, sweet. So it's converted. So now we're looking at the right time. All right. So we know your data is sending current stuff right now. All right. So because we know that, do you remember how to look at, do you remember how to use a tstats command?
No.
Okay, no worries. I'll show you. So delete everything except the pipe, the first pipe. I'm going to type tstats. So tstats is like statistics commands, but you don't need events for it to run on it. So it just runs basically off of like accelerated metadata that's already there. So we're going to say tstats count. No S. And then space, where, we're going to do host space is going to be equals to the name of your host. You can just type Patrick and then star, since you're the only Patrick here. And then space and capital A and D. Space index equals star. And then space by, and then space, you're going to say source type and then comma index. So basically what we're saying is we want to do a statistical count where we find any host that equals Patrick, and we want to look at all the indexes, and we want to look at it based upon the source types that's going there and the name of that index itself. So run this for, let's do 7 days. All right, so looks like you're sending some DNS stuff, Patrick. You decided to stream some DNS data to me. All right, okay. So do host next to, let's make sure it's your host. It's not some random host. So no, not there. After, so the by clause is where you want to see. So whenever you want to see more fields here, you want to add it at the end of it. So here you just do comma and then whatever field you want to see. So by default, Splunk allows you to look at source, source type, host, index, underscore time, some of like the default stuff that you see. You can do underscore time if you want that, but let's just do host right now. Let's make sure it's your host. All right, yep. So it looks like your local MacBook is streaming DNS stuff to me. Okay, cool. And some HTTP stuff. Okay, cool. So you might send some interesting data, and it's going to main. So what we want to do then is go to your local host, Patrick. So do localhost 8000 on a new, no. On a new, new screen somewhere. And you guys are like your 5,000 tabs. Got a lot going on.
You want to see the other Splunk? I think I might have it up running already.
You got it somewhere? Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah. So okay. So you did Splunk Stream, you install Splunk Stream to send data. Because I see STM there. All right. So cool. All right. So the only thing we need to do then, Patrick, we need to change where that index is going. So go to settings. I don't even believe we can do here, but let's see if we can. Data inputs. Go to, you got wire data, see there, wire data on your network. It's 1. So click wire data since you're streaming DNS stuff to me. See
This one?
It says inputs. You see that 1 next to it right there? So right now it says right now you have 6 files and directories you're monitoring. You have 1 HTTP event collector. You have 7 scripts that are running, and then you have 1 wire data. So I want you to click wire data.
Oh, the wire data. Uh-huh.
All right. So you see where it says you're going to index. So click the name stream FWD to the left. All right. So it looks like we can click more settings. All right. There we go. See default there at the bottom. Change that to, so the only thing is you can't change it here. So this is what I was talking about. Because your indexer doesn't have the name of the index that belongs in my index, it's not going to be able to change that. So what you'll first need to do is Scroll at the top.
Where's an index?
Huh? So do right click next to settings. Do indexes. You're gonna open that in a new tab.
What do you?
Nope. It's fine. Okay, cool. All right. So settings, indexes. All right, so create your index, I think was, let's go search in OpenPath. I forgot the name of your index. Go search in OpenPath for it with the name of the index. How do we search for events, guys, based on indexes?
Yeah, the pipe first.
Yep.
Editor.
So we have another command. We want to look at events based on indexes. Who knows that search?
What's the question?
We want to find the name of his index. What events are going to that index? You're gonna
Event count.
Oh, all index.
there we go.
Event count.
Somebody said it, yep. Event count.
Index equals star. Index equals star. I believe is a summarize. Index equals star. Space. Yeah.
Summarize equals F is the same as false. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, look at that, Patrick. We found your index, Patrick _ index. All right, so we know what your index is now. So that's what you're going to create on your local instance. So on your local instance, go create an index called Patrick _ index. So what happens is here is that the data doesn't get stored in here, but Splunk needs to be able to say, hey, this index exists. Now, the only way that it can send data from your local instance to my instance on the to the right index, there's no way that your local instance can communicate to my local instance to find out what index exists or not. So you just have to create that on your end, just knowing that your index exists on my end. I hope that makes sense, guys. So it's literally you saying, I know there's an index that's created for me on this server over there in La La Land. And I know the name of that index. But Splunk doesn't naturally know that. You have to know that. So what you'll do then is create something local that says, hey, the name of my index that exists over on that server is this. So whenever I create this index now, if I'm forwarding data, it's going to go to that index. But Splunk is going to think that, hey, if anything were to happen for whatever reason, I may save that data into my local index locally. But if they tell me to forward it, I'm still going to forward it to the right index name because that index name exists in that, La La Land somewhere. So I hope that makes sense, guys. New index. You have to create a new index. No, go back. Just look at the screen. You're creating a new index. Yeah, there we go. And just save. That's all. It doesn't really matter the settings here.
Okay.
Yep. All right. And then let's go to settings on your other thing now. So now that it's recognized, let's refresh the screen. You got Kubernetes going up here too. A lot of stuff going in, man. All right. So more settings. Now let's go change that index. All right, so you see now your index shows up. Yep, so let's save that. So since this is a new change that you've done, go to messages. Let's see if it forces you to restart. So no, the only thing is it's saying your var run dispatch. Okay, so this instance that you're running has less than 5 gigs available, your local instance. So that's something you gotta watch out for. All right. So, all right. Let's check in R in private OpenPath. Let's see if your data is going to the right index now. So just run this search again. Rerun this. Yeah. If we see more data in here, then we know it's coming. So you see 18 now. There was 1 before, now it's 18. So we know there's more data in there. And intuitively, we know that if we're not sending anything else, then we know that it's going to be that data you just changed. So if you do index equals Patrick underscore index, we should see that data in here now. Just delete all this and run index equals Patrick underscore. Oh, sweet. We're getting Patrick's net flow data. So here you can look at stuff that you think may be interesting. So I mean, this right now is looking at net flow. So I tell you now, this is stuff that happens in production environments. I mean, looking at network data, you see there's some destination IP. So you can look at like literally where you're going and what's happening there. So if you do 156, you see that one right there at the one, do that. Copy that. And then put that, yeah, let's see what this is. Hopefully you're not going to like bad sites, Patrick.
Maybe.
I'll catch you here, bro. Yeah. All right, so.
Oh, this is DOD.
Oh, okay, you're going to do this. Okay, cool. So, all right. This is stuff you can look at just to audit yourself to see where you're going. And then this is going to be helpful because next week we're going to do a Whois integration with Splunk on the front end so that you can literally just do a drop down and then you can see what site that is based upon the IP. So this is something that I think is very helpful. And then you can map it.
My deployment client is not, I don't know, it's not working again. Because I can just show that.
Is that Liz talking?
No, Claudette.
Okay, Claudette, what are you saying now?
So I'm saying that I still have problems with issues with my deployment client.
What do you mean?
Like I can see the data, I can see my index on my end, but I cannot see it in Cloudhouse.
Okay, so you see the data locally on your end, but you don't see it over on my end. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I don't see it on your end.
Okay, all right. So are you forwarding? Did you check to see if you're forwarding?
No, I have a full instance.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Did you check to see if it's forwarding to me? Because if you're seeing it locally on your end, then the issue is you're probably not forwarding it to me.
How else do I need to forward it? apart from, you know, I thought that just setting up the deployment client and monitoring it to you, I should be able to see it.
No. So the deployment client just says, you know, I can tell you what to do. You still need to forward the data though to say, hey, I want you to actually forward this data. So right now, remember what we've been doing tonight in terms of what's the first thing that Liz did? She went to settings. What do you remember where she went to?
I think she went to forwarding and then forward and receiving.
Yep, forward and receive. Yep. So that's where you need to go to. You need to go configure that. All right. So once you do that, it's gonna you should start seeing that sending its data to me at some point in time. All right. So okay, Patrick. So we have your data. Does anyone else have data inside of Splunk that, you know, we're gonna do some searches right now on some data so we can do some front end stuff. Anyone else have data? Otherwise, we'll go with Patrick's. Or if somebody else wants to just control, you know, we'll work through their screen as well. That's fine. Anyway. All right. What about you, Mercy? I don't think I've worked with you in a while. Your stuff up and running? All right. Mercy done this up here. So let's see. Mr. Hugo, are you ready? Mr. Hugo there? Test. All right. So Mr. Hugo's not here. So I'll just take reins. No one's volunteering. I will take reins. I'm telling you, when you have someone walking you through this, it makes you stronger. It's like muscle memory. So I would always choose to volunteer if it was me. All right. Okay. So we'll go to search and reporting. All right. So I want to see all the data sources that are there based upon people's indexes. So what I'll do is do tstats. Remember, we just did this earlier. Index equals star underscore index, because that's the way I named your naming convention. I'm going to say values instead. So I'm going to say I want the values, all the source types. Then I'm going to call it source type. And then I want the count. And then we're going to say by index. And what else do we want? And then we're going to say values also. So I want the values of the source types. Oh, shoot, I'm going to do that. The values of the source types. I want to see all the different source types that people are sending. I also want to see the different hosts. Okay. All right, so let's run this. So within the last 24 hours, we got Elaine. Oh, it's because I misspelled this source type. Oh, Elaine, you're sending a bunch of stuff. You're sending some one event logs, actions too small, this too small, drivers, all this other. Elaine, you're just trying to use up all my license, I see. All right. Ernie, you're sending.
If I'm sure when I said that when I restarted, the logs file came in.
Okay. Yeah, the other thing is whenever you see this too small, it means typically you didn't give a name for the source type. That's why I just tries to give it something to say too small. So whenever you see this too small in your environment, it means you got to fix your source typing convention.
Okay.
We have some test stuff. It looks like you called something the Rufus Linux. So based on old stuff. We'll go to mute, oh wait, I think that was you. So I just muted you. All right. Okay, so let's go back now 7 days. Let's see. There's more. So we have Ahmed. Quick. Oh, so the stash stuff is something I sent to you guys. So this is your literally your bill pay data, whatever. So that's stuff I sent. So whenever you see stash in your stuff, that's me sending that. So it looks like outside of me sending you guys stuff, no one else is really using their index for stuff. So all right. We'll use Elaine's index for right now. We'll work off of yours. So we'll do index is Elaine. This for index. Let's see what you got going on within the last 15 minutes, I think. So nothing last 15 minutes, last 60 minutes maybe. Nope. Last 4 hours. Nope. And last 24 hours. All right. So we know you got something here. Sorry. So Elaine, you were sending some when event logs. All right. So we're gonna be exclusive to your host. All right. So we're looking at source name. All right. So let's say account was successfully logged on, subject. So we want to look at whenever let's see, what do we want for the message? Message, all right. So we want to look for any successful logons onto your computer lane. So let's do that. So we're going to say, let's do regex. We're going to say message is the field. So it's going to be field equals message. And actually, we'll use a rex for this one. So rex, similar to regex, but one actually creates a field for you that you can use permanently. The other one is just more permanent in terms of like when you run in your search. The other one is just like temporary. But so we're going to do field message, and then we're going to say, so this is, so yeah, when you run commands, look at the examples down here. So it tells you exactly what to do. So then here, this person is getting the from the underscore raw. So here we looking at this message field here. Where you at message field? Where you at? So message field, and we want to see anything that says successfully logged on, right? So what we're gonna do then is say, let's just do initial. We'll just do we'll call this field successful. We'll just call it login information. We'll just look for login initially. Login info. All right. So then what we're going to look for in here is just going to be login or log on. We're going to run this. Oh, and there's no field called message. That's not going to work. It needs to be the name of the field. So it's a field. The field is called capital message. I did a lowercase, so I just made it uppercase. So once we run this, we should see a field pop up on the left side called login underscore info. We can find that guy somewhere. Did I miss it? I'm not tripping. Let's just go over here. All right, so login info. Click that. So there's 374 logging informations that appeared, and a lot of it is log on stuff that appeared. So if we click that, we'll now see that everything that happened here is related to login or log on. So you see special log on.
Then 15 minutes.
Huh? Then you see account was successfully logged on. So all of this stuff now we're looking at is everything that has information about logging information. So this is one way to extract, just the fields that you're looking for. So somebody says, hey bro, we need to get logging information from all the Windows events. Easiest way is if you understand your event codes. So if you understand your event codes, you know what to look for. So right now we see event code 4672. So if we go to event code, we see there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different event codes, which is represented here as 6. There's 6 different values here that pertain to logging information, any type of log on. Somebody did some type of login or log on. So, and the way that I know that is because my regex is looking for either login or log on. So this pipe in the middle means or. So either login or log on. That's what I'm looking for. So then what I did was create a field here called login_info for anything that has a value of login or log on in the events, not necessarily, not events, but rather in this field. So that's what Rex does. So Rex says, let me look for this field here, which is message. And in that message field, inside of this value here, we need to see either log in or logged on or logged. I could have did logged as well. But here, if you read through this message, somewhere on here, you're going to find either log on or log in somewhere. But in this case, it's going to be log on because when we look up here in login info, everything that we saw was logged on. That's all we saw. Does that make sense? Any questions about that?
So for the event code, how do we interpret like the event code? So do we have to come to one of those fields?
Good question. So find a meeting in the background. All right. So here is a website. Forward this to you guys. Basically, this website allows you to look at all the win event like codes. Like you can literally look at all the descriptions here. And I actually use this website also for workflow actions. So a lot of my SOC people may not understand like all these like win event codes. So I just say, hey, just go into here and grab it. The other option is you can actually literally download all these win event codes like a CSV. And then what you can do then is do a lookup. So whenever it has this win event code here, you can just do an automatic lookup and it'll tell you exactly what's happening there for this win event code. But that's stuff you have to study. But in this case, let's say you didn't know what these win event codes mean. So that's why we know what we're looking for though is login and log on information. So all we are saying is just, as long as it has login and log on, grab me stuff that's pertaining to that. And then once you do that, what happens then, it gives you just the event codes based upon your search. And in our case, we're searching for login or log on information. You don't necessarily need to know the event codes, but you just need to know what you're looking for. So we know that these are event codes that we're looking for now. So what we could do now, once we have that, you can take away this regex and then just say event code, it's capital E, I believe. So now we're going to say it's going to equal to any one of these. So it's going to be 4624. I'm going to do a bunch of OR statements here. It's going to be that. Just copy this here. So we're just going to we did 4672. All right, 46, 24, 72, 24, 72, 48, and 34. 24, 38, 46 and 72, I believe. My brain is not as good as what I can say. 48 was the number, okay. So 34, so 24, 34, 48, 72, and 6,000 and 6,003. So this is 48, this is 34. I'm gonna say or 6,000 or 6,003. Anybody's memory is good. Mine is not. I remember this one. 6,000. All right. So once we run that now, it's going to delete our login information field that we created. But we don't care about that now because everything that we see, we've discovered now that all of these fields, you can even look in the categories, see login, special log on, log off. Looks like it's a mitigation and none. So this is the stuff that we can start now dwelling into. So it's okay, what's none? What does that even mean? Category equals none. So there's only one field that has that. So it says, hey, let's look at that. So this is a Microsoft Windows logon. And then we can look at what happened though. When logon notification subscriber session environment wasn't available to handle a critical notification event. This may be something that you may want to know about as a system admin. So this is stuff that literally happens in production. So you want to see what's happening with your logon events, and you want to see what's going on with each of your computers. And this is how you audit it. So we have this now. So let's say we wanted to look for, let's break this down a little bit more. So body, we don't care about that. Destination. So localhost. All right. Let's do. Okay, this is your DN. Distinguished name. Your IDs. All right. So operation privilege. Okay, so here's one. So privilege. Impersonate client after authentication, generate security audits, replace process load token, debug programs, take ownership of files or other files, restore. Okay. So we've got some things there. All right. So typically in security, you look for like the anomalies, which mean like the rare events that are happening. You don't always look for like the stuff that typically happens, because that doesn't really help you as much. There's a special logon, special privilege assigned to new logon. Okay, so basically, looks like Elaine, you logged on, and then you were given like these set of privileges here to basically do whatever you needed to do. And it seems like this is like by default. So as soon as you log on, you get these privileges to do what you need to do. So this is at 10:24 this morning. You did that. All right. So then severity is informational. So let's look for something that's let's do this. Let's see. Right. So we're gonna look for severity, something that's actually not informational. So severity. So you got.
Strong is kind of interesting. It gives you all those details.
Yeah, get all these details of what's happening, and then you can investigate on ports too. So if you know what ports are usually bad ports or the ports that are abused, you can look at that. You can say, hey, anytime I see this port being utilized in my environment, I need to look at this. A logon was attempted using explicit credentials. Okay, so it's like you don't mind muting your background. All right, so long as it's using explicit credentials. So let's say we wanted to, let's see, is there a URL in here? Because I think this was something Richard wanted me to show him, process name. Okay, so good, we can do this. So process. So the process name, we don't really care about C whatever. We just care about the actual process, which is a win logon executable, last SAS executable, service host, and then a win init executable. So what we're gonna say is which one was that again? Process name is the name of the field. So what we're gonna do is eval process name. So process name, I'm gonna say equals. All right, let me see. How do I want to do this? So we can do this a couple ways. We can either regex it or we can try to L-trim it. So let's do this. So let me show you guys what L-trim is. So L-trim is a function that literally does a left trim on your data. So let's do this. Let's see. Let me show you guys that. So let's do, let me hide this thing too. Hide floating. Let's do L. Text functions, and then we look at how the function works. So L trim.
Hey, Libby.
Yes.
I'm still gonna need help with forwarding that data because I was unable to get your IP address. I went on the website. I don't know what website you guys used and what.
Put in the chat if somebody wants to help her how to get the IP for back. If somebody puts in a WhatsApp chat for me, please. All right. So eval. So L-trim. This is the way it works. So we're evaluating X. So in this case, there's a bunch of Z's and then there's a A, B, C, Z, Z. So here we're saying trim out these Z's and then replace it. So the following example trims the leading spaces and all the occurrences of the letter Z from the left side of the string. So see here on the left side of it, it's going to trim that, and then the values return to A, B, C. So it's going to give you this. So anything that has, blah, blah, blah with a Z is going to cut that out. So it's going to cut out all of this, and then what's going to return for you is going to be A, B, C, blah, blah. So what we're going to try to do is L-trim that also. Let's see if this works for us. So L-trim. Let's do process name. Let's try to grab this and see if this will work for us. So Windows System 32 looks like it's the same thing across. Let's grab this. So let's see if this works for us. So put that in here. I'm gonna put that in here, comma. And then close it. And then we want. See, the only thing is that's going to be weird about this. It's going to ask for. Let's do .exe. Let's see if it works. This may not be a good example for it to work for you guys, but let's see. Escaping. So that's the double escape. So whenever you look at Windows stuff, you have to do a double. So say don't escape it, make it a literal character. So right now it's escaping this. So it's making this seem as if like that's something else. So we don't want that to be the case. Let's see if we grab what we're looking for here. So process name, let's see, do you have it? Okay, so it did that the other way, which I do not want it to do that way. So it basically grabbed for us, it grabbed for us, what do you call it? The C32. I don't want to grab the C32. I actually want to grab everything but that. But the only thing is, it's not consistent. I think this it's probably be a bad format for me to give you guys, but I'm gonna see if we can still do it. All right, so value turn. Let me see if I can. See if we can flip it. The way we want. It's probably just going to give us a .exe. So, oh, no, don't escape that. No. Let's see if this gives us what we're looking for. Will you, or will you not? Okay, so got security. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong doggone field. So .exes. So it got the .exes. It says that, you know, but we know that .exe exists. That's a given. But it's not really the way that we want it to work. So let me see if we can star here. I don't know if it interprets star well, but let's see. Process name. Nope. Just names of that. Nope. So this is not going to work for us. So let me show you an example of where this would be helpful for us. Let's do. Make results. Let's do eval. Address equals this is my 4655 hello. And we'll do, let's do second address 2. Actually, no. It's not gonna work the way we want that way. Let's do no commas. So it has to flow a certain way. So we're gonna save that, and then Louis underscore Maryland. All right. I'm doing it for this way. You guys will see why. Because I don't want to. I want to make this delimited. So then we're going to say, yeah. Let's do. So then we're going to client special. So make MV the limb. I'm gonna break it apart. So now we're breaking it apart. Then we're gonna do score here because it's gonna mess it up. Then we're going to say MD expand now. So now we have 2 addresses. So what we're gonna say is this is a special client. We don't want to see any of their information. We want to hide that. So what we'll do then is do eval address. And we'll do equals. So since it's on the right, it's going to be a right trim. Say. This is where it would be helpful. So here, and let's say see. I'm going to do this in my address. So that basically strips out, you know, whatever it is. You just basically get the generic information, and it grabs that for you. So let's do. This is my. Then you see it basically. You can add text in there and modify it or whatever you want to do in it. But in this case, we just want it to be just the default of, what we want. So it basically strips out. It's like a way for you to mask like that data, like a right trims it. The example that would be best use case for this, where I use rtrim and ltrim, is when I have a specific log that looks exactly the same, and I want to strip out like something that maybe the city, so let's do this. So let's do rtrim, and I want to do, let's do I want to do empty here. Okay. So you see, I put my address as as the field with one quotation here, and I basically stripped out the state. So if you have like I don't think this works for regex. I've never actually tried it with regex. But if you have like maybe a specific like username or something like that you want to strip out, you can do it this way. Like the state right here is one that we can do it. So if we were to do Bowie underscore, so it would strip out the Bowie underscore Maryland. Then you see it strips out Maryland, but it doesn't see Laurel there, so it won't strip that out. So that's something that's helpful. And then you see here the asterisk or whatever doesn't work in the same way that it will work in like matching. So does that make sense so far? Like when you would use this, why you would use this?
We also use it like when you try to, I'm saying, mask social security numbers or IPs, or I don't know. Is it the right way to use it?
You can, but this is not necessarily. So this more is for like trimming stuff that you don't want. Like if something is like, so for instance, if I'm trying to trim like a specific field, so let's do this. Let me show you actually a really good example too that I used before. So eval client equals, let's say for some reason your values are like, you want your values to be all consistent. So eval client equals special client, then you do special client XXY VVV or something like that. And then V, so yeah. Yes. Now we have this right. So we want all our clients to be special client. All this extra is just a bunch of like mess. And sometimes your logs end up like that. And you may have to trim your logs and make it better. So what we'll do then is just say we want to trim that. So now clients equals trim. Then we specify the field. Then we want to strip out whenever we see this XVVV, whatever, we want to strip that out. So then, there we go. I spelled it wrong. So then now you see, right? So now it's stripped away all this extra fluff that's there. And it just gave us beautifully what we wanted. So now everything is the same. And sometimes when you have like fields that have values that you're trying to make it the same for whatever reason, then this is what you'll do in regards to that. So we see here that we have a problem, right? We have special underscore client, and then we have 3 clients, but we wanted to make all of it to be the same. So you can do an if statement. Well, would that be the best here? Let me think for a second. We want to add an underscore inside of here. So let me see, what would be my suggestion here? So that special client.
Like a rename?
Yeah, you could do a rename, but it's the values that we care about. The rename affects the field. It's the values that we want, though. So you see how special client is here, but we want to change it to special underscore client. That's what we want to do. So what you can do is probably regex this out. So this is why it's good to really know regex. So we'll do regex, and we'll say field equals client. Regex. I'll say regex. Rex. All right. So field equals client. And then what we're gonna say is we're gonna call this client. Client 1. And what we're gonna say is so we know that it's special underscore client. So we all know it starts with special. So what we're gonna do is then say, but we're not gonna know that the field value is special. So let's say we added something here called let's do this client, right? So focus client, special client. So focus. So what we're going to do for this is we know that it ends in client. So that we can grab. So we just say client. It's going to be part 1. And then what we're going to do then is say for this is that. So then what we're going to do then is create another regex in front of this and say capture client underscore part. We'll call this part 1 here and then call this part 2. So then what this does then, it basically grabs everything else. And then we're going to do a plus for it. Let's see if we can grab it this way. All right, so there we go. So it grabs special, oh, not so focused. No, that's gonna mess it up. That's gonna be really weird to try to fix. So we know that the client is the second part of like the client's name. And then we know that anything else before, just grab it. But right now it's grabbing that underscore. We don't care about the underscore. So we can make our regex a little bit better. So what I would do in this case would do like A through Z. Let's do a plus. If I know what it looks, oh, what just happened here? All right, what are you complaining about, bro? Known search command. Oh, did I do that by accident? Yep. Now recognize this as something. Maybe you don't recognize it. Let me see. It's weird. Do you don't recognize that in now? Huh. That's interesting. It doesn't recognize that regex pattern in the It is interesting. Okay, so that regex is not gonna work that way then. So but I wonder then. So we know that the underscore, we don't care about it. So what we're gonna say is shoot. Let's see if this works. So it's still grabbing the underscore. We don't want that underscore to be there. It's not going to allow me to not do it that way. So special client. Yeah, so that's just weird. I've actually never seen that. So this is actually interesting. So what we can do is we want to place an underscore in front of it. So at the end of the day, we want to make it an underscore anyway. So that's okay if we have that, but there's probably another way. I may have to just use a regex, which may be a full parser to do that. But for right now, since we want to make this an underscore anyway, so what we're going to do is do this. So we're going to say if statement. So we're going to do eval. So we're going to evaluate this client field now. So we're going to say eval client equals. Remember, the objective now is to make everything be a first and then an underscore last here. So just like this guy. So we're going to say eval if clients, let's do clients equals to, so we know that the one guy that we want is this, is special underscore clients. And we're going to say, praying that this works the way I'm thinking. Let's say do just make it the client field. So we're saying this, if this client field, the value of it is equals to special underscore client, just leave it alone, call it the client field. But if it's anything else, we want you to do this. We're gonna do, and this is the part where I'm not sure if this is gonna work the right way. If there's anything else, we want you to do clients, one, then plus client part two. See how this works out. Okay, so we're going to do client plus one plus, we're going to do underscore. This is the tricky part. Do it. Yay, it did it. It did it. It did it. It did its array. But my only thing is, see, it's added this guy. We don't want this second thing here. Does this make sense so far what I'm doing, guys? Any questions about this? This is just literally trying to normalize values so that you can easily search across it. So right now, so right now we're saying special underscore client is the one value we care about. That looks good. The rest of these guys we need to train up so that they look good. So we're saying if the value is this guy, don't do nothing. Just say, hey, it's that guy. Otherwise, what we're gonna do is do client underscore part one plus an underscore. So this guy plus an underscore, and then client part two. My only qualm that I have is it, oh shoot, maybe that's why. Bang. This needs to be a value, I believe. There we go. Sweet. All right, so we did it. So initially it didn't work because this is looking at like a field. There's no field called special underscore client. So, all right, let me go through that again. We have we initially started out with a field called special underscore client. And then underneath that field, or we have a field called client. Underneath that, we have values called special underscore client, special client, special client, special client, focus client, not so focus client. And then what we're trying to do is say, we want to normalize this. So what we really care about is the names to be the same, because for whatever reason, whenever we get it, our database needs to grab it this way. It needs to be looking exactly the same. So normalize the values for this to be the same. So we want it to look just like this guy. So then what we say is, all right, you know, we initially know we got like a bunch of issues before, so we trimmed that data, we curved it so that it looks good. Then now what we want to do then is we want to do a rex on this field here. And then what we want to do then is say, if the value is equals to this, which is our good guy, Lucky Charm, don't do nothing. Just basically, if it's this, don't do nothing. Just rename it to whatever it is before. You know, just that's why you see the single quotation, because it's saying just name it whatever the value is for that specific field. So if the client is equal to special underscore client, revert back to whatever the value is for that field. Whereas if it's anything else, you're going to do a client part one. So whatever the value is under for client part one, add that with the underscore here to whatever the value is for part two. And then that's when we get this here. So that's how that works. So let's say we were going to call this, let's do something that's more efficient, right? So we'll call this agent 001 or 002. And then we call this, you know, bond 466. We call this 45. That's M. That's unique identifier for those agents. Then call this Mike Kilo Lima. Yeah, November Echo. Then this guy's gonna be God 34. Then this guy's gonna be called 383D. So now we know that the one guy that has the underscore, we'll take this away so that we can see it. Now this what that does is we got our agents over here. Now we have our agents or IDs here. And then we still have the client piece. So we know the one thing that's common, it ends with a client. So what we want to do is, let's say we just wanted a field just with the first names. That's what we want to grab. You can have that field now over here, and you can just regex that out. You can, you know, take that stuff out. And then you can do something else to take out this underscore too. But right now we got this over here. So then what we're going to say is, we know the first guy is good. It's agent 002. So if this guy looks at agent 002 with the underscore, just rename it back to agent 002. Don't do nothing. Otherwise, do this plus that, and then now you have it. It's the same. So this comes very handy when you have other systems that you have to output data to, and you have to make it the same, that you have to sync it across. So whenever you have to do stuff like that, that's when, you know, you got to think, you know, outside of the box in terms of how you want to break apart your data to make that more asynchronous across your system, so that, you know, it's just it'll be a lot easier for your folks to be able to deal with. All right, so we have that. Any questions about that little tutorial there?
Well, I really didn't understand a lot of it. I guess I have to really go study Rex.
Okay, yeah, so the Rex part is, so the regex, I don't expect you guys to understand, but I just want you to know that you can use regex on a field. That's the, the goal is to understand you can use regex on a field to grab specific parts of that value. So in here, what we're doing is basically just creating new fields called client RP part 1, client RP part 2, and then we're going to say this now is going to be called anything that has client in it is what we're going to use as the value. And here, this is a regex that says grab anything that has a word, and then so that's how that works with that one.
And then what's that question sign?
So this question is creating a capture group. So it's like, this is the name of the field we're going to call it. So that's what the question does. So it's question, and then inside of the less than and greater sign is the name of the group that you're going to have. So this is the capture group, and then the name of the group is there. Oops, sorry.
All right. Slowly but surely, I guess.
Cool. All right, so let's do a couple more things, and then we'll call it. I'll make sure I let you guys go by 11:30 for sure. All right. There's a few more commands I want to run, but before we run those commands, let's quickly build a dashboard. Let's do this. So let's build a dashboard with a report. So we're going to save this now as dashboard. We'll save this as a report first. So we'll call this information, right? All right, so we save that, and then that's been done now, right? So then we're going to say add now to dashboard. We're going to create a new dashboard. We're going to call this. Share this in the app so that everybody can see it. I'm going to save, then we're going to go view this dashboard. So now what happens is we go on a dashboard. We have our special agent dashboard here. So we're going to do some coloring over here. So all these guys are going to be the same. They're all clients. Then we're not going to do anything with this because it's all going to be the same. Let's say, all right, so we're good here. All right, so we got this set. So now we want to add different data sets. As a matter of fact, since this is in Elaine's index, Elaine, you're probably going to be the only one that has access to this because nobody else has access to your index. Oh, actually, no. This is make results. I forgot. Sorry, blanked for a second. So what we're going to do then is we have our information here for stuff that we want. We're going to accelerate some stuff that we are looking for. So let's do type equals, let's do source type. Then index equals main. And if you guys don't want to send it to your own index, you want to share it with people, send it to main. Everybody has access to main. So if you want to do it, send it to main for sure. So we have a bunch of stuff in here that's too small, which is fine. We can use this data. This is good. It's good data we can use. GPD10, don't know what that even means, but right. So we're going to do index equals main. And then we're going to do source type is not equals to I'm trying to get rid of Sierra Leone stuff. I have the COVID-19. I think it's COVID-19. I think that's what I called it. Source type, COVID data in here. All right. Anyway, that's the last thing I want the COVID information here. So we have some disconnected, some IPs, receive connections from IPs, blah, blah. So we got some stuff in here that we can use. So let's see. So we have source IPs. Cool. So we can use a lot of this stuff. So let's do that. So we're going to say do a source underscore IPs. There's an S under the IPs. So now we're going to look at time chart to see who's been trying to peek into my environments. Well, not mine, but let's just see what we're getting. So we have a big use null here. How do we get rid of this big use null? What's a flag we can use in time chart? And other. We want to get rid of other as well. Use. No. False. Other. False. All right. So we have this. We got a list of IPs and stuff that's happening in our environment. It's not too many. There's 49 guys doing some, sending some stuff. Wherever this is happening, this guy is in your environment a lot doing something. It may just be you, maybe your personal IP actually. So, all right, so we got this right here. So what we're gonna do then is save this as a report. We're gonna call this IP name.
Good question. What is it? Source type Sierra?
Does not equals to. So it's a does not equals.
Oh, okay.
So the exclamation you see here means does not equal in that sense. So we're gonna do. I'm gonna make this permission so that you guys can all see it, all the apps, read it, do whatever you want to do with it. Let me see who else. Admins can modify or modified admins, which is what you guys are. All of you guys should be modified admins. All right, so we have this. So now what we can do is we can accelerate this report. So when you accelerate it, you can pick the summary range and all that you want to pick. So we're going to say 7 days, and then we're going to save it. So now this report's going to run really, really fast. Then you want to put a schedule for it.
When you accelerate the report, it makes the report run fast.
Yes. Yep. Literally, it's like acceleration. Like you're making it run faster. That's
dashboard. Even a dashboard.
You can't accelerate a dashboard though. You can only accelerate reports or data models.
Okay.
So we're gonna run this every.
What's the advantage of accelerating?
It runs fast. You can search it faster. It's that's literally like why folks do the accelerations. So we're gonna run this. Let's do it every day at like, I don't know. Let's do it at like 10 a.m. or something, right? Then we're just gonna save that. So it's gonna run. So it hasn't run yet. Matter of fact, let me reschedule that. I wanted to run it cron schedule. Let's do it. What time is it now? It's 11:21. So let's do it at cron schedule. You can go to cron tab. I think I showed you guys how to do it. So this is every minute, but we don't want to run every minute. Let's do at 25 past the hour, and let's do at 48 past the hour, something weird, right? So then we can go to Tab Guru, then we can check our cron tab. So at minute 25, at minute 20, at 48, so that's when it's gonna run. So that's what we're gonna have it here. Let's save that. So it's gonna run at the 25th minute and at the 48th minute every hour. All right, so that's gonna run, it's gonna do its thing. So then we'll go to searches, reports, and alerts. And then what you can do here is you can actually enable summary indexing. Then you can basically send it to a summary. So this is like when you want to, get a copy of like summarized data. The only time you typically want to do this is if you have large data sets that you're searching across and you only want to grab just a portion of that large data set, then you're going to dump this into a summary index. And then when it dumps into a summary index, you can search that data much faster. let's say we want to add this to our, let's say our summary index. We're going to save this now. And now what it does is you see it's accelerated, and it's also going to be dumped into our summary index as well. So we can do run here. Then you run it. So that's 24 hours, it's done. And then let's see. It may have not dumped into summary yet. Let's just see. Well, it's 24 hours. All right, so it hasn't been dumped yet into summary. So, all right, so we got that there. Let me see. Edit summary index in. All right, so we're gonna add some fields here. We're gonna say source type equals to activity. Then host. You don't really care about the host because the host could be whatever it is in events. That's fine. What else do we want to add in here? That's fine. We'll just do the source type for that. All right. So that's how you would do summary indexing in this. There's also a search that you can do for summary indexing. So we'll do index equals, let's do the thing again. 24 hours, and we have 6 minutes. So I'm just going to end with this now. So summary indexing again is like, if you have, right now, this took me not too long. This is not too bad, but my environment's small. It took me 11 seconds to run the search. But I'm only doing this against, and I should have closed that, 126,000 events, right? So it doesn't scan that much. So imagine it needed to scan 10 billion events. That's going to take you quite some time. And you're only looking for something specific. So in here, let's say we want to do index equals main. Then we want to look for, looks like stream TCP. Let's look for something we care about. Stream IP user. Okay, let's do user equals star. User equals star. We just won't care about stuff with users in it. So then what we'll do then is we can do a collect command. And then what collect does, it basically sends us to whatever index you want. So collect index equals, then you can also modify a bunch of your things off your connect. So source type equals to, we'll call this user main. Source equals to main search. Host equals to, and then we're not going to put the host. I'm just going to leave that the same. All right, and then there's more. Oh shoot, where's that? So you can do run in preview, where you can actually see the preview of it. You can add the time with the Boolean. There's a whole bunch of other flags that you can throw in here. Let me see. I've actually never used test mode. So let me see. So we'll keep that, and then I'll show you guys this in just a second. One at a time. Crap, I may not. I'll try to run through one of these for you guys. So we'll run this. Now this throws into your summary index. So now if I go to index equals summary, and I'm going to run this source type that I gave it, and then that source that I gave it. Oh, it may have switched it to original host, original source probably. What the? Why are you not here? 30 days. So, all right, so is that the user stuff I did? Make sure there's where you at? Name. No, that's assume row stuff. Host, blah blah blah. Right, so I'm not sure why I didn't collect it into that index. Why did you not collect? So let me see if I can pipe it to another index just in case there might be an issue with that guy. So let's see. Let's do server equals Right, so looks like Clovis, history, Liz. I'm going to send this guy into OpenPath last chance. Let's give you last chance and let's see if it works. Last chance, all right. Right there. All right, let's see if this has picked up events from last chance. Index equals. So, sure why it's not sending the data. That's so weird. Okay, so let's do 30 days. How about that? Yeah, this is uber weird. It typically works. I'm not sure what's going on. Let's do a 24 hours again. Why are you not redirecting it to last chance? Okay, I have to figure out why that is. So the collect command is supposed to do that. It's supposed to collect it and send it to wherever you want it to go. So just not sure why in blazes it's not forwarding it there. Maybe let me send it to a local index here. Let's do is not equals to that. So we have on underscore index. Let me see if that works. So let's just redirect this to underscore index. Yeah, so no freaking clue why that's not happening, why it's not sending there. Yeah, no, honestly, not quite sure what's going on there. Yeah, I have to figure out what's going on there. No clue. So this is the easiest way to collect data into your summary index. There's a whole bunch of other commands that we can use here. Syschart, sysrar, sysstats, and we could probably go through some of those at the end of next class. But for this class at least, you should know how to use ltrim, rtrim, collect should be good, how to use that. And then for changing the name of your server, you should know how to do that. Server settings, general settings, you should know how to change that. And then enable HTTPS, you should know how to do that. The other thing is you should know how to do is data inputs, which I don't think we had a chance to go with anyone. I'll just use Rufus's, I think, since his is I think yours is consistent right now, Rufus. Let me double check. Star. Rufus. Then, all right, so you have some stuff for Rufus underscore index on the prod. I don't know why it has two. That's just so weird. But anyway, all right. So what I can do then, since I think I still have control, I can just say, okay, I want to monitor a new local directory from who am I connected to? So Linux. Not sure which one's Rufus or not, but let's say I want to grab this from who's not getting data right now. Matter of fact, let's see. Actually, we can do tstats. SQL star. So who's sending the least amount of data? So let's do that. Personal PC. All right, so we'll use your personal PC. I don't know if it's still connected or not, but we can see. So let's see. Personal PC still connected. We'll use him. So personal PC. Personal PC. Okay, so a few seconds ago, looks like we connected. Let's see if it'll work. So what we'll do then is, did we see personal PC up there? Yeah, there you go. So we'll actually do it on all Windows, guys. Let's grab all Windows, guys. Say, except AD, because I already got AD stuff. So we're gonna say, we're gonna call this right, so we're gonna monitor local win event logs actually. So application, security, and system. We're gonna monitor those stuff. And then we're gonna send this to main for right now. All right. And what happens then is, if I refresh this, right now we see 6 apps and 4 server classes. Now we see 7 and 5 because that's been added. So all windows that we created here, the hosts that have been added are Elaine's, Richard's, some guy named owner, some guy named personal PC, and some laptop guy. So the last time Elaine's check was 7 hours ago, so he's probably not going to be able to get this. And then the last time owner PC check was 5 hours, so he's not going to get this. But these guys look like they got deployed and they're checking in. So now, if we were to rerun the search, personal PC, did that guy connect? I forget. Personal, no, I think personal, yeah, personal connected. So personal should have a higher number, hopefully, than what we see. So it shouldn't be 2. And let's just run it and see. Now I'll do a count. Oh, personal still 2 though, so I need to figure out why personal is not increased. So what we'll do then, let's do tstats count where like star host. Let's do by well use chart.
Personal PC is Clovis.
Oh, that's you, Clovis. Clovis, check on your Splunk server and check if you received an app. It's going to be an app, and it's going to be called underscore server all Windows app. That's what it's going to be called. It should be located in your Splunk Etsy apps folder. So go to C drive and go look for that. Let's see if it's there. So those guys should have had those apps deployed to them. So right now, what we're gonna do is time chart sum count is count by host. So we're looking now at a time chart to see who's been reporting, and then we're gonna delete that use other stuff again. Use other. What we're looking for is the latest person that logged in. So just here. So we're gonna see. So it's 11:30 now. So Pride Indexer, we see OpenPath, Rufus's server, Tech Forward LLC. I think that's okay. So Patrick, your notebook is sending quite a bit of stuff. That's your stream data probably. Bugsy's still sending stuff. Okay. And then Mr. Ugo, I think this is you, I believe. And then I don't know who Onye is. But if successful, and Rufus, do you remember if your laptop is is yours a Linux server? Is that actually Rufus still on? Maybe I haven't looked at participants yet. Oh yeah. Hey Rufus, do you know if your laptop is Linux or Windows based? In the chat maybe. Okay. I'm not sure. We can find that out though. So we can go to clients and we can literally look at Rufus's laptop. Rufus server is a Linux server. All right. So right now, what we're getting from Rufus's laptop, you can see that. So instead of host, I'm going to do source type as well. Say value. See if we can do it this way. Values. So count for prod indexer, and then for let's see, Rufus. All right, so count for Rufus server. Let's do by. So Rufus, I know yours is this guy right here. So you're doing some access logs maybe for you. Okay. So this looks like it's a lot of it's like it's a lot of internal stuff, to be honest, not even external. So this doesn't look too helpful. So the last thing, and I'm positive this will be the last thing for tonight. I'm just gonna create a new inputs for all the Linux folks in here. So again, I'm gonna do files and directories for the Linux guys. Then new remote. So we're gonna grab all you Linux folks. Linux. Anything that says Windows, of course, we're not gonna grab. So we're gonna do so we're gonna monitor files and directories. I'm gonna do file messages. Send this to main. Then automatically source type it. All right. Cool. So that's it. You guys should start seeing your data in main at some point in time. Either today, tomorrow, for those of you. So source follow messages. This one's coming from who? Who just coming from? Where's the host field? This right now is only Tech Forward. Okay. So at some point in time, you guys should see more data coming in from you guys. So make sure you set that up. If you don't know how to set it up, put a message in the Splunk class, say I need help with setting up my data sets. The main thing is if you try to set up this screen over here where you go to settings, data inputs, you try to configure a forwarding from a remote host over here at any one of these tabs, it won't work unless your guy is actually actively configured to talk to this guy as a deployment server. Because what it does, it tries to build an app and a server class for that guy, and then, or those guys, and then it tries to send this app or server class there. So it looks like for all Windows, one app, looks like 5 deployed a few seconds ago. Richino, Clovis, can you share your screen quickly? And we'll just look to see if it got deployed there, and then we can end class. Either Clovis or Richard or.
I'm sharing my screen.
Okay, let me give you access to do that. You now have access to do that, Clovis. All right, so go to, you see Splunk Enterprise right there, Clovis, on the left?
Where?
Click that. All right, you guys connected. I don't see anything on here. So click the back button. All right, and then, oh yeah, you do have it. You see right there, Clovis? Underscore server, underscore app, underscore all windows.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Yep, so that's what we just deployed. So now you have it. So now you have it. Now we're collecting your Windows event logs into Splunk. So do me a favor, click help and about.
Help. Right here.
Yep.
Okay. How should I click that?
About. All right, so yep, yours is still named personal PC. Okay. All right, so yeah, it looks like yours is should be sending logs. So do you have forwarding enabled on here? We did that, right?
Forwarding enable? I'm not sure.
Now to double check X out of this or close this. All right, so where would we go if we wanted to configure this?
Yes.
Oh. So that's when you're doing data. We want to see if you're forwarding data.
Well, you say you want to see if it's forwarding data? Settings, forwarding or receiving?
Forwarding.
And then configure your forwarding.
Okay, so yeah, it looks like you're enabled. You're sending data. I did see 2, so I figured that was the case anyway. So, all right, so at some point in time, you guys should all be having data into Splunk by, I mean, tonight, if not by by Wednesday latest. Everybody should have data coming into Splunk. If you don't put it in the chat, someone will help. If no one does, I will help. But I want you guys to start researching this stuff. So I ask questions also. Don't be shy to ask, or not ask, but answer if you know the answer. This helps you to get stronger and helps reinforce your knowledge base. If you get it wrong, you get it wrong. But at least the worst place to be is when you're at a job or in an interview. It's best to be wrong here, and then we can correct you, and then you just remember moving forward. But that's all for tonight. I did keep you past 11:30, fortunately, so apologies on that. But yeah, you guys are all set for tonight. Homework is get data into Splunk if you're not getting data, and then build a dashboard. I don't care what dashboard, just build a dashboard on it. And then, ideally, you guys are actually supposed to do it today to be able to present on a couple of that, but I know people are having issues. But by Wednesday latest, everybody needs to have a dashboard built and has to have information in their index. If you don't want to put your information there, you want to use somebody else's, that's fine, but just build a dashboard. There's so many different ways to do that. So that's literally the homework. And then next class, we'll just work on the straight searching. There's some few advanced commands I wanted to do today that we didn't get to. And I'll try to sort out what the heck is going on with that collect command, as I'm not sure what happened there. But that is it for tonight, guys. You guys have a blessed night. Catch you guys later.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes,
sir.
Yeah.
Were you still gonna be able to help me out tonight, or?
Oh yeah. What's going on with yours again?
I have to delete memory. I'm not sure if it's my forwarder that's messing up, or it's the I have to just re-download Splunk. I have both of them downloaded, but
Did you delete some space?
yeah.
Okay. All right. So you can share your screen. I'll just leave this as an extra session, so in case anyone wants to watch it. You guys can stick around if you want. All right, so let's see how much space you got now. Suffering still, but all right. 39.
Is that
Yeah, that should be good enough. That's more than enough.
okay?
So, okay. Did you install Splunk already?
Yeah, it's here. I have Splunk Enterprise.
So click that. The beauty of Windows, you can just click and start. All right, so it looks like Splunk might not be started though. Services. Could be at the top when she's type services.
Yeah.
All right. Wait, and you just installed it?
No, I never. So when I uninstalled it, I left it there, and I just tried to uninstall the forwarder, but it's still here as well.
So go to uninstall. Let's uninstall it, please. Yep. All right. Let's look for these guys. You can type it in there. Top. And the folder's uninstalled too? Wait, it's still there.
Where I was having issues with uninstalling.
Type in Task Manager on your thing while this is uninstalling. No, task.
Oh, Task Manager.
Okay. You click Task Manager, right? Is it just slow?
Yeah. Low.
So installation is 1 gig.
Another thing I was gonna ask, does it make sense to do this on this laptop? Because this is pretty old. My new one's coming this week, so I'm gonna have to do this again anyways, right?
Yeah, I would do it. Don't you have AWS? I thought you had like free for this year.
I think I actually do. Yeah.
Yeah, I would launch an AWS instance. Do you know how to launch Windows AWS instance? The same thing pretty much. Just picking a Windows VM.
Should I actually go ahead and do that instead?
Yeah, I would. I don't know if you wanted to wait for your new laptop or install Windows.
And I pretty much have to use the instance for the rest of the class.
Yeah, I mean, you can build as many. The ports are wide open, so you can build as many and just send whatever you want to send. If it starts getting overwhelming, I would blacklist them just for storage-wise. But yeah, you can group as many instances. Just install Splunk and start chugging data over.
Okay.
So it's taking a while. Yeah, I'll probably hold off on putting much more stress on this computer. It's like any minute now might die.
Okay.
Just yeah, just let it uninstall, and then I would probably take off like, I mean, those other like 600 or so, gigs that you have on it, is that all necessary?
So there's multiple accounts on this laptop.
Oh, okay.
This is my sister's old laptop, so.
Gotcha. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna wait till my new one gets here. That's probably the best thing.
Okay. Yeah, but once you do that installation, the only thing you need to do then is just do the forwarding and receiving. Make sure you send that to Cloud OpenPath on 9997. And then remember how you put in the, well, matter of fact, we just did it correctly. So you go to C drive, program files, Splunk, and then Etsy system local. And inside of there is where you create that deploymentclient.conf. And then you just put in that copy of what we have inside of the WhatsApp chat. You put it in there. You start Splunk and then we're good. Once you get that up and running, just let us know. Either I or Richard or maybe even Timmy walk you through this as well.
Is it like the same? It's the same process on the Mac.
pretty much same process on Macs. Yeah. Once you get it up and running and you're good to go.
Okay.